A certified life and professional development coach with over 375 hours, a former lawyer with experience in tier 1 law firm, an entrepreneur who's deeply passionate about life, balance, and self empowerment. Please welcome Vasudha. Hi, Vasudha, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
The pleasure is all ours. Vasudha, before we begin, I think I haven't defined your expertise and where have you been. Could you quickly help us run through your day of joining JGU and what are you currently doing?
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's very interesting that we are doing this 10 years, almost
Okay.
10, exactly 10 years after I came to campus for the first time.
Okay.
So my first day of JGU, I joined the batch late actually because I wasn't sure if I was going to study law.
Right.
I was still in this unsure kind of phase, but I came to campus and then everything sort of fell into place, and it was one of the best decisions I made. It was one of the first decisions that I made from a place of empowerment that I chose for myself, and that's important for what I do now, right?
That clearly defines you.
Yeah. So I studied in Jindal. I did my 3-year LLB. I went on to then work at a law firm for more than 3 years. I was a competition and antitrust law lawyer. And then I came to this point where I got promoted. I was informed that, okay, Vasudha, you're doing very well. You're going to get promoted. Started getting more responsibility. And that's when I started really wondering, ki something is not right, because I didn't feel good that I was getting that promotion.
Right.
And that's when I was like, okay, something needs to change. I need to sort of maybe introspect and reflect on my life and myself about what's going on. I had other things going on in my personal life also. It was around COVID time.
Right.
My personal relationship wasn't going that well, some stresses at home. So lots of things came together, and I realized that perhaps I'm meant to do something different.
Right.
So that journey, since then, it's already been 4 years since I moved on from practicing law.
Right.
But the full circle moment is that now I support law firms, young lawyers, other professionals and entrepreneurs also through what I do.
Right.
I'm a coach, I'm a therapist. I specifically help people with any kind of professional development, clarity that they need, or any kind of improvement that they want to make in their professional life, or they're going through some changes, either personally or professionally, that naturally affects how you view yourself, your confidence, and how you show up at work. And with all of that, naturally, concept of workplace well-being and work-life balance comes in. So these are all the things that I help people with.
Right. Right.
Now.
Okay, Vasudha, it looks like such a bold leap in your career from a lawyer to a coach. How did you thought that being a coach can be a business model for you?
Oh, very interesting. Okay. I understand why it looks like a bold leap.
Yeah.
But I didn't view it that way when it was happening to me.
Okay.
And why do I say that is because I was going through all these internal changes in my identity.
Right.
And it just became so stark. Like, it didn't seem like there was any other way
Right.
for what I wanted to do. So, I mean, yes, it took some time. Like, I went through a transition phase as well from the time that I decided to move on from active practice of law and, building what to do next. So I've had my ups and downs, and
Right.
that's how, in terms of like, I didn't see it as a business at the time.
Right.
Now, almost 3 years into practicing as a professional coach,
Right.
now I'm like, okay, now we look at it as a business. So,
Well, I just skipped something. So from a lawyer,
Yes.
you had no background. Did you pursue something to get into this business?
yes. So, just like law,
Right.
Coaching, therapy, these kind of interventions is what we call them. They're all practices. So law is a practice, and so is this,
Clearly it
right?
is.
I went through 10 months of training
Right.
on skills of how to coach people, whether it is active listening, whether it is how do you create emotional safety, how do you create trust with your client for
Right.
them to feel comfortable
Right.
to open up to you, share with you. So we really do work on building a relationship. So you sort of have to learn all of these skills
Right.
through your trainings.
Right.
And also how to help them, how you are present enough so that you can safely observe things about them which may be their blind spots, and convey them to them.
Right.
Right, so I went through training for this. I went through a lot of mentorship and supervision as part of this program, and the program involves you to also complete sort of professional hours, and then you sort of achieve milestones. So the program is run by the International Coaching Federation.
Right.
So that's where I have my global coaching credentials from. That's
Okay.
one of them. So it was quite a process.
Okay.
It's been in the last 2.5 years. There have been several milestones and hoops to jump over.
Okay.
Just last week, I managed to upgrade my credential.
Okay.
So last year I gave an exam, a 4-hour exam, which was sort of a culmination of all the training and supervision and the hours I had done. You clear that exam, and I got one level of global credential. And because I was able to complete a large number of professional coaching hours in a short span of time, I've gotten awarded a higher credential.
Okay, that's lovely.
So I've completed about 500 hours now.
Okay.
Last year I was at about 150 hours, so I completed.
It's a transition.
It really was, and
Yeah.
it's just been amazing. So that's what sort of the training has been like. What was good is that in this line of work, you need a lot of practical experience. So again, similar
Surely.
to law, that you
Yeah, yeah.
learn a lot on the job.
True.
You do need training, but you have to see how to apply it and
Right,
sort of figure out your own way of
Yes.
doing it. So you can sort of learn and apply and work at the same time.
Okay.
So in the process, I also got another certification,
Right.
which is specific to emotional well-being. It's called Emotional Freedom Techniques. So we use our
That's
fingertips
lovely.
to tap on parts of our face and body.
Yeah.
So that helps with like emotional healing, nervous system, mindset kind of work.
Which is such a mandate in this running world. I mean,
It is, and
Yeah.
I realized, like I said, like
Yeah.
you learn and work at the same time. Like
Right.
that's what I realized. That okay, I'm coaching people for professional decisions in life, in their life. I'm coaching senior executives. I'm coaching mid-level professionals. The problems people are facing were the same. You want somebody to help you stay focused on your path to achieve your goals.
Got that.
But emotions come in the way. Stress comes in the way.
yes.
And you need to, as a practitioner, you need to be equipped. So I felt that this would be a novel tool to add to my coaching skills. So that's been the journey.
Oh,
of
that's
Sort
lovely.
of relearning.
I want to tell my audience that in this past, before we started the podcast, very beautifully you said, I don't advise people. I hear them out. Can you give that perceptions to our listeners? What is it all about?
Sure.
Okay,
So it's a bit of a misconception, I would say, that when you feel unclear or unsure or uncomfortable in life, you will go and ask somebody else, please tell me what to do, right? You may ask parents, maybe mentors, somebody who's more senior or experienced to you. You might even, resort to faith and ask God, saying,
Yeah.
please tell me what to do, right? But we don't get those answers directly, right? An expert such as a career counselor or your mentor or anybody who cares for you and is a well-wisher will say, okay, I think you should do 1, 2, 3 things, right? But that they are speaking from their experience and their wisdom.
Okay.
Not that it's not applicable, but it may not be 100% suitable to you.
Right.
My job as a coach, and any coach who is a professional coach, is not meant to advise you or
Right.
direct you
Right.
and tell you this is the path that you will follow. Our job is to create that safety for yourself to hear your own self. In this fast-paced world, like you said, you had mentioned, there are checklists. We want to get things done and we want to get places.
Right.
In the process, we forget to connect with ourselves. We have not learned how to hear our own self.
Yes.
That inner wisdom is what we have become disconnected from.
Right.
That's my job, to help it come out. For you to hear what is the real problem I'm facing.
Yes.
What is perhaps the answer to my problem. It's all within us.
Right.
So my job as a coach is to help you bring it out and then put it into action and make it real.
Makes sense. So, Indian society where we feel that, we cannot reach out to someone for some emotional support. Or maybe, in this world where everybody is trying to pull your leg and go a ladder up, you would not go to your senior thinking that he might think something else about you. And then is where the window opened for the professional coach. Do you think procurement has been a task for you for the same?
Of opportunities?
Yes.
Yes, but it's changing.
Okay.
So let's in India, the sort of the adoption of coaching as a methodology,
Right.
and not just coaching, personal development, like
Right.
working on yourself as something for me to invest in,
Right.
has been slow. It's very, very new. And you know, the mindset. I'll give you an example. Like somebody may say, okay, I'll spend 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh. This iPhone 17 is starting at
That's
high amount. So I'll spend that amount on a phone. I
Yeah.
might spend that amount on, say, round trip Europe holiday
Yeah,
for
yeah,
flight tickets.
yeah.
Right? You're okay to pay 70, 80,000 plus
yes.
for this. But when you say, okay, for a month or 2 months,
Right.
invest in an
Right.
expert who will help you transform your life, your mindset, for you to feel more confident, mentally healthy.
Right.
That's when people think, acha nahi, ye to thoda zyada hai. Like the hesitation is
Yes,
there. Now it
absolutely.
could be for cultural reasons, like you mentioned, that it's not been part of our culture to
Just go and seek help.
yes, there is certain stigma around it,
Yeah.
right?
And
Whether
how do you
it's
vouch
therapy
on the
or-
other person if that person is telling you the truth or not? Or is
Precisely.
helping?
Precisely.
Yeah.
So that's sort of been what it was, but like I said, it's changing because now millennials, Gen Z are coming into the earning classes, right?
Right,
They're in their
right.
20s, 30s.
yes.
And you must have, I mean, because you're also, in academics, you must have seen all these surveys and things like that where they say these generations are asking their organizations for emotional safety, right?
Yes.
All these happiness, engagement surveys. They're basically saying, we want to feel valued. We want to feel like we are making an impact. How does it come? Where does it come from?
Okay.
They realize that there must be something that I'm coming in my own way. And somebody needs to help me get out of my own way. There's something that I'm not equipped. You know how you say आजकल की generation is not as resilient और
Right.
जल्दी से काम छोड़ देते
Right.
हैं, things like that, right? It comes from this place, and the newer generations are recognizing that. So they are the ones who are adopting these things more.
Right.
That's the focus of my work and sort of the business aspects of my work. That
Right.
yes, I coach and I work with senior leaders, but my passion and my core interest area, and that comes from my own experience as well,
Truly it
is
is.
to support junior to mid-level professionals, entrepreneurs, young people on how you build yourself and build your resilience.
True.
So
True.
I think that's changing. That's the wave I'm looking to ride.
In conversation with you, I realized that you're a very motivated person. But when you run a business, there are ups and downs. There are good days, bad days. What keeps you motivated?
Honestly, it's because, and this is also something that I help my clients with.
Okay.
Right? So it's a question that I asked myself in this phase when I left my law firm. It's a question I ask my clients as well. What can you do every single day or almost every single day for an extended period of time just for the sake of doing it,
Right.
and spending time doing it, and you feel energized.
Okay.
You don't feel drained, like, oh my god, like, why am I doing this? You feel, yeah, maybe you're physically tired because you
Yeah,
spent some
yeah,
energy,
yeah.
but you're like, I did this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you feel alive. I feel that with this, and it's been quite a journey to get here. And that's why I feel like my skills equip me to help other people feel like that and find that for themselves in their life.
Truly it is.
Because you said there are ups and downs, right? Like, it's a business, you want to make money. I want to, I mean, I have desires as well, material desires.
Clearly.
It's natural, right? But if that's what I'm chasing, then I would be very, very unhappy.
Okay.
It's the fulfillment that comes out of it. I feel blessed, I feel privileged to be in a place to hold space for someone else.
Right.
Every time I sign on a new client, every time they show up for a session, we complete a session or I complete a program with my clients, I find myself thanking them so much. And sometimes they're like, like, why are you thanking me?
Yeah, because
You helped me. I have transformed
True.
so many things in my life. And I'm like, no, but thank you for letting me be that person, be a part of your growth journey.
idly, yes.
That's what I've always wanted to feel since I was a child, but I didn't have the language, I didn't know what it was, but I'm here today. So.
Yes. So that's true successes. While I was running through your profile, I realized that, like you said, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have been doing what I want to do. But trust me, 99% in India, they are doing what they have to do. And they cannot take into the leap what they want to do.
Yep.
And in that spree, how do they feel happy and feel successful or feel contented? Please help us with that.
I would say, come work with me. No, really, because
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
exactly what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
like you said, almost like more than 90% of people
Yeah.
are lost, and they are
Yes.
sad.
Yes.
Because we are so, and I've noticed that in myself. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a human being. There's some changes I've made by listening to myself and choosing things, but it's ingrained in our upbringing, our education, society to do what you should do, or what you think you should do.
Right.
What externally it looks like.
Yes.
That language is there, it's very subtle, very nuanced. Like sometimes my parents would say like, oh, why are you not going? That acha nahi lagega.
Yeah.
It's all about what other people will think. So even the choices you make, your core choices, whether it's a partner, your career, lots of things,
Yes.
come from that place, and
Right.
it's a bit of unlearning. But once you start doing that, it's a muscle like that you build.
Yes.
First we come into the awareness. So I do this work with them, right? And you come into the awareness of what are the things that we are doing that we feel that we should do, right? You come to that awareness, saying, okay, I'm getting to be aware of these things, and then you accept the fact that, okay, I have made these choices from that place.
True.
That's actually the main struggle. Coming into awareness is easy.
Yes.
I think
Most
the
of us
same
are
90%,
aware.
Yeah,
we are
the
aware.
same 90% of people are aware. of it.
Yes.
It's about acceptance. That's where again we judge ourselves, because log kya kahenge, your own narrative becomes
You know,
like
that constant fear of failure is also there. Forget what people are going to say.
Yep.
The constant fear that, oh, I'm taking such a bold leap. The fear kind of instills in us, maybe the surrounding or inner voice. How do someone deal with that?
So that's unique to everyone.
Right.
Um,
Let's hear your story from a lawyer, practicing in a tier 1 law firm.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did this happen?
Well, very honestly, like I said, it didn't. When I stand here and look back, I also say, oh, it's a bold leap. But it wasn't like, I just didn't have anything else in my life at that time. It was like, I can't do this. Wherever I am, it's just not serving me. It was taking everything out of me. I am a people-oriented person. I'm not suited to doing research, to,
Sit down at
liaising
one
with-
place.
Yeah, exactly. Sitting behind a desk,
Gazing
dealing
at-
with emails
yeah.
or liaising with, an official from an administrative body. Not my scene.
Not you, clearly.
But the people I worked with, many of them were very passionate. They enjoyed it. They were energized by it. My
Right.
senior, he trained me.
Right.
And I'm still in touch with them. And we speak, and he's like, Vasudha, I'm so happy for you because I'm seeing how you're growing.
Yes.
And I said, I'm so happy for you. I would see you and I would wonder ki, मेरे को ऐसी feeling क्यों नहीं आती? So it doesn't feel like a bold leap. It's like the voice inside you, and I've written an article about this on my LinkedIn as well. It's this voice inside you that keeps getting louder and louder that you've suppressed. And for me, it was, Vasudha, you're not meant for this. You're not meant for this. You have to do something else. You just have to do something else. So it came to this point where I was like, Vasudha, you just have to put in your papers. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have anything in my hand.
Okay.
I had a very rough idea of the concept of what I do today. But I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know that I had to become a coach for that.
Okay.
I didn't know all of this. I took that step. That
Right.
step feels bold, but I just said, I'm doing this. I don't know. It's something that happens inside you. And I took that step, and then over like a year and a half after that, I went through 3 months of just pure introspection. So a lot of the tools that I help my clients with, I did them on myself. And I learned them, I researched and all of that, and I applied it, and then I came to my answer. So what took me maybe 1.5 to 2 years now can take my clients 3 to 4 months. Because it's tried and tested, and I have now I've learned new skills to help them with it.
True.
Right? So what I would want to sort of say to answer your question is that it's you don't just jump from one building to another. You take the lift or the stairs down. You cross, you climb the stairs up, and then you reach the other side.
Absolutely.
And that's everyone's journey.
True.
That is the journey. Anybody who says my success happened like this, or a change, any kind of change, big or small, happened, it's not. It's not a leap.
Yes.
It's a journey. And you need to make sure that journey is helping you grow and you're enjoying it. Whatever it is.
How
That should
lovely
be
is
the
that
goal.
advice. But, I feel, Vasudha, like you were blessed to have taken that call, leaving a job, probably,
Yeah.
But there are people who aren't who can't afford to leave a job
Yeah,
and think of a career ahead, what advice would you give to them?
So, again, I work with lots of people like that. Comes back to the concept of a transition, right?
Right.
You're in a place right now, and maybe you're not very happy about it, or you would like to make a change. Think about what are the changes you'd like to make. First, what is the smallest step you can start taking today? 1. 2, if you already know what you want to do, start doing that. Is it something you can start on the side?
Yes.
Like what is it?
Yeah.
If you have a thought that I want to start my own thing, or
Yes.
I want to make some money on the side, or I just want something different.
Yes.
And I just can't drop everything and do it. If you're bold enough, you can. Things will fall into place, and you will make it work.
And there'll be failure also. Please.
I will.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you that as well, right? So firstly, just start.
Yes.
Wherever you are, do something, start. So secondly, like you said about failure, right? There are 2 things in that. A, work on your mindset towards what you believe as failure.
Okay.
Failure is when you give up.
Yes.
I want to achieve something. I have a plan, and I think this is the result will come.
Okay.
Some other result, something else happens.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Consider that it's not failure. It's just a different result.
Okay.
You still learn from it. You still take with the benefits from it. Use that to refocus and get back on your path. Either you get clearer about your goal, or you get clearer about your path, or what the gaps are that you need to fill in. This concept of failure, and please forgive me, older generations,
Yes.
has come from you.
Okay.
Okay, because they had to make it work, and there was only one way to make things work. We do not live in that world anymore, and
Okay.
actually even they did.
Right.
So this is a mindset, especially if you want to become independent or run a business, or do something on your own, or make any change. You have failed when you have given up. So find that commitment. What do you want to commit to? Say, no matter how far off I may seem from where I want to be, I'm still going to get there.
True.
And I think that's one core point about failure. If you need support, which naturally people will need support, nobody gets anywhere alone.
Okay.
Find support, build support systems. Start figuring out who are the right people in terms of friends. Do you need to change your relationship with some of your family members a little bit? Work with a therapist, work with a coach, work with somebody who can be that safe sounding board for you to help you deal with these things that come up.
Okay. So this advice is for people who are already on the professional front. Our audience might include students from campus.
100%.
What would be your advice, including how should they shape their career? What are the aspects that they need to explore being on campus? What best can they do in this capacity?
So I am going to go back to the earlier points of our conversation, because the concept and the core is the same.
Right.
When you're on campus, and if you're on a campus like Jindal, or wherever you are, right, whatever opportunities you have as somebody in academic life,
Right.
please do not make those choices based on, it will look good.
Yes.
Please don't. My parents think I should do this, or my uncle, aunt, cousin, that person, my friend achieved this, so I should do. That is going to make you unhappy. It is going to create a lot, and I mean a lot of self-doubt, and it's only going to get worse. Do things that light you up, that you enjoy.
Right.
Even if you're not already good at it today, but you like doing it, do it. You will get good at it because you enjoy it.
True.
Start there. That's the core that I want you to follow, and this is from my heart to you.
Right.
Please, I would really say that that's the core thing, and use that again as the basis to make choices.
Okay.
How will you do that?
Yes.
This concept of strengths and weaknesses is what we've heard.
Okay.
But the work that I do, positive psychology talks about strengths
Right.
as those things which strengthen you. So you could be good at something, but
Right.
it drains you. It takes away from you.
Yes.
That's not a strength, that's a weakness.
Yes. True.
So, I mean, I do this work with my clients, and I have like this proprietary system that I've built. But at a very basic level, what I want you to check in is, what are the subjects or the people or the activities that make me feel stronger.
Right.
You want to do more of that. You want to spend maybe 60% of your time and energy doing that,
Right.
and 40% on improving the weaknesses.
Okay.
These strengths that you've invested in will help you deal with those things.
Got that.
And then the balance will tip.
Absolutely, very beautifully quoted that. You know what? A child who enters campus is just 18, and Jindal being the ocean of opportunities, and it's very, very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Let's give a piece of advice to them. Someone who has just joined and has very less introspection about himself.
Yeah.
You know, some activities, some some way, your words, if something that you want to tell to them.
I will say pursue progress over perfection.
Right.
So I will say, and I do have clients who are teenagers, right? So we work on this saying lots of people have already told you a lot of things. You're entering this world, you're starting college. Now is the time to filter it out.
Lovely.
So do things which help you connect with yourself.
True.
Just this new place, there's so many things for you to do.
Yes.
So many different people. And especially if you're on this campus,
Yes.
which has come a very long way in the last 10 years, it
Right.
will be overwhelming.
Yes.
Just keep coming back to yourself. Journal, write, read, or sit with yourself. But come back to yourself and hear your own voice. Just keep hearing your own voice and go from there.
Yes. So one thin line is at least start journaling, putting your thoughts into action. That really helps.
Yes. Just write. Whatever thoughts you have, feelings you have, write. It's the best way to connect with yourself.
Lovely. On that note, we will switch to our rapid fire round.
Okay.
Yes, I'll have a couple of questions. Okay, Vasudha, your first question. Coaching in one word.
Expansive.
Okay. Law or coaching? What was tougher in your life?
Coaching is tougher to do
Yes.
and learn.
Right.
It seems easier to learn, but coaching is tougher to do. But
Right.
to me, coaching seems easier because I'm up for it. Like the
Okay.
challenge excites me.
Yeah. Okay. So morning person or a night owl?
Morning.
Okay. One book that has changed your life.
Can't see. Not just one.
Okay. Coffee or chai?
Neither.
Okay. Biggest pet peeve?
This is the grammar Nazi lawyer. In me.
Yes.
Typos. Just typos.
Okay. Biggest. So a client success story in 3 words.
I am enough.
Okay. One habit that you swear by.
Journaling.
Okay. Favorite place to think and recharge.
My co-working space.
Lovely. Legal brief or coaching journal, what would you rather write?
Coaching journal any day.
Most used app on your phone.
WhatsApp.
One person you would love to coach.
My coach, my mentor.
Oh, that's a true success.
But also Alia Bhatt.
Your guilty pleasure after a long day.
I want to get into bed, put Netflix on and like play one of those games on my iPad which doesn't end.
Right. 3 things always on your desk.
Notebook, pen, and some kind of a turtle.
Right. If not law or coaching, what career would you choose?
Something on stage, something performance related,
Right.
where I get to create energy like in the audience. So maybe music or theatre, something like that.
Oh, that's lovely. In this webinar, the note that I'm taking back home is, we all have choices. What we have to do or what we want to do. The thin line is to learn the balancing. Thank you, everyone.